Semi-Annual Training July 2023. Week 4. Day 4 and Day 5. Outline. Roman number 4. The highest peak in God's economy is the reality of the body of Christ. Capital A. The significance of our blending is the reality of the body of Christ. Number 1. This reality is a group of God's redeemed people who have been made God in life and nature but not in the Godhead. Number 2. They live a life not by themselves but by another life, the life of the processed and consummated triune God, who enters into them and takes them as his abode, his dwelling place. Capital B. The reality of the body of Christ is the corporate living by the perfected God-men, who are genuine men but are not living by their life but by the life of the processed and consummated triune God, whose attributes have been expressed through their virtues. Number 1. God's life with all its attributes was lived within the God-man Jesus and expressed as this God-man's virtues. Number 2. Originally, this life was only in Jesus. Now this life is being reproduced in believers who have been redeemed and regenerated and possess the divine life within them. Number 3. Perfected God-men are those who have been matured by continually exercising to reject the self and live by another life, the resurrection life of Christ. Capital C. The reality of the body of Christ is the mingling living in the eternal union of the regenerated, transformed, conformed, and glorified tripartite God-men with the triune God in the resurrection of Christ. Number 1. This mingling is a corporate living of the conformity to the death of Christ in the power of the resurrection of Christ. Number 2. Such a mingling living is in the resurrection of Christ, and the reality of the resurrection is the Spirit. This resurrection imparts the consummated triune God and releases the death-overcoming life into the believers. Number 3. This corporate and mingling living by the perfected God-men consummates ultimately in the New Jerusalem in the new heaven and new earth as God's increase and expression for eternity. This is the end of today's outline.